All right, so this is not my normal place to do filming. This is a little different. I'm in the kitchen, and this is a follow-up to quartzite. And I've had a lot of interest in this quartzite, and I'm actually kind of surprised. Quartzite is just another option for stone countertops, obviously. And the reason we went with quartzite is when we built our house and we did this design, we wanted something super unique, right? So every area of our house has something unique, and the kitchen has a couple things. One of them we wanted to be a feature was quartzite. All right, so super happy with the quartzite. This particular quartzite is Beverly Blue, and it turned out really good. And after 3 years, we're really happy with it. There's no major issues. I mean, it's just a big piece of rock, so there's not much you have to worry about, right? But there's definitely some things we've learned, and so I kind of want to pass that information on to everybody and talk a little bit about what I've learned over 3 years of dealing with or having the quartzite. Okay, so let's talk about a couple things, few things. The first thing when you get into quartzite is going to be cost, right? So when our builder first spec'd out our build, they spec'd it out with quartz, just regular quartz. And when we changed that plan and went with quartzite, our cost estimate went up 3 times, at least 3 times our original estimate, all right? So, you know, that was just a choice that we made, but you have to be aware that you're definitely going to incur a lot of costs. So that's one aspect of it, is cost. The second thing is you saw that in my first review of the quartzite and in a little bit of that preview intro that I did on the quartzite is that if you have a darker color quartzite, the only thing that I've seen that I'm not super happy with that you have to keep an eye on is just on that darker quartzite, and this would apply to any of the stones or any dark surfaces, that when you get water on it and it dries, you get the water spots. So you'll see the water spots. On this lighter color Beverly Blue, you don't really get that so much, but you will get it in the darker colors. As far as durability goes, durability's been great. I mean, we'll take a turkey that's been in the oven for, 6 hours, take it out of the oven and set it straight on this surface, and the heat doesn't hurt it at all. We'll take hot, pots straight off of here and put them straight on the quartzite, and we have no problems with heat. I've taken the pizza wheel and right over the top, and no cuts, scrapes, scratches. I mean, we've cut all kinds of things on it, and it doesn't scratch. So I think overall, durability is awesome. You won't have to worry about durability if you invest in quartzite, and maybe that's a big plus that kind of offsets the cost a little bit. As far as sealing, people ask about sealing, and we put a sealant on it one time, and we've just resealed it. All right, so after 3 years, we've sealed it again, but I don't know, do we really need to? Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. But durability, awesome with quartzite. Okay, the absolute biggest thing to consider when you buy quartzite is seams. Seams are a huge thing because you've got these super complex patterns, and if you have to cut the slabs and join them, it's going to look really weird when you have seams and you have to put them together, right? So when we first bought these slabs, so this Beverly Blue, we bought 2 slabs, right? Super expensive, and so 2 slabs was enough to do the kitchen, and we had a bunch left over basically, and we said, well, we have this big pantry, which I'll show you in a minute. The pantry, we were actually going to do something else in there. We're going to do like butcher block or something like that, and our pantry's not a normal pantry, which I'll show you. And so seams were a big deal, and we had these 2 slabs with a lot left over, and we wanted to use it because you don't want to just throw away a big chunk of quartzite. So we elected to do our pantry with quartzite, with this Beverly blue, but the seams are a big deal. Now in the kitchen, between all of our surfaces, they're just single pieces, right? There's no seams on anything in the kitchen, all right? But we have seams, and we elected to put all the seams in the pantry. And this is something we worked out with the installer. And we spent a lot of time with the installer, and we'll show you. Let's have a look at the pantry, and we'll talk about some of these seams. Okay, so seams. Like I said, in the kitchen, no seams. Here in the pantry, we've got 3 seams here, and you can see them for sure. Now, this is where we spent a lot of time with the installer. We've got 1 seam over here, and you can kind of see it's not perfect. Looks kind of funky, right? But again, this is where we elected to put it, where you're not going to see it a lot. The other seam is this one. Now this seam here, they joined it almost perfectly, but you can see it still, right? You can definitely see a seam there. And then our third seam is, well, it's way over here, right? But again, 3 seams, all in the pantry. And so that's just how it turned out, right? But still, the seams are a big deal. You don't want to have seams out in your main living areas, because I think that's where you're really going to regret it, especially if it kind of has a funky look like that one over there. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Seams are a big deal. Spend a lot of time with your installer working out where you want your seams. All right, so again, seams were a big thing. Now in our bathrooms and in our laundry, we have a whole nother slab of quartzite. It's not the Beverly blue, it's another cut. And we have, in our bathroom, we have 1 seam, right? And so our guest bathroom, we don't have any seams. Our laundry, no seams. And our master bath, we have 1 seam, and it's kind of strategically located, but it's still there, and it's still something that the installer was really concerned about. So again, seams and having a good seam strategy and a good installer is the key. But other than that, durability, you know, I mean, it's crazy good. I mean, I'm glad I invested in quartzite. I'm sure that it's going to make a big difference in resale value. And everything I'm talking about would apply to a complex granite countertop just the same, right? Anything where you've got a complex pattern, you're going to have the seams that you're going to have to deal with and some of these other things. But overall, definitely would go with quartz again. And I'm happy I did. If there's any questions that you guys have, let me know. Hopefully that helps people out there. I know there's been, like I said, a lot of interest in quartz, quartzite, granite. Again, super happy with the quartzite. And if you have any questions, just let me know and I'll get back to you. Thank you.